Hey, what is up, guys? Hope you guys are having a nice holiday season. And today I was kind of in the mood for WrestleMania season, which is coming up. It's just around the corner. Once Royal Rumble starts, then it really gets on its way. And what better to do than a top 10 countdown of my favorite WrestleManias, or not only my favorite, but probably what I think is the best WrestleManias. So we'll start that out with number 10. That would be WrestleMania 23. This one had a really fun Money in the Bank ladder match, one of the more underrated ones, I would say. It also had the Battle of the Billionaires, which got a lot of publicity. I remember maybe it was like Fox News or NBC News or something like that. They were talking about this match between, well, it wasn't between Donald Trump and Vince McMahon, but just the bet they had that they might lose their hair. That got a lot of publicity. That was pretty cool. And it also had a really underrated title match with Undertaker versus Batista. It made my top 50 of all time. It was top 50 title matches of all time. If you haven't seen that one, check out the podcast. It's from the summer. It has to be from the summer, I think. And also Cena versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, was also very good. You can always trust Shawn Michaels in the main event of a WrestleMania. That's why they call him Mr. WrestleMania. So WrestleMania 23 takes the 10 spot. At the 9 spot, it is WrestleMania 7. You had a pretty good mid-card. You also had a really good Ultimate Warrior versus Randy Savage match. Then the main event, you had the, let's say, Iraq versus USA rivalry. Things are getting pretty heated in real life between the Gulf Coast and USA. So what did the WWE do? They turned Slaughter heel and made him anti-American. Then you obviously have Hogan, the top babyface, as the American. So that was a pretty neat feud, I guess. So yeah, you had that big rivalry in the main event. So along with that Warrior Savage match, gives it the 9 spot. So that's WrestleMania 7. The 8 spots, I have WrestleMania 12. And really only 2 things noteworthy. You had the Roddy Piper versus Goldust, and they kind of made fun of O.J. Simpson. And then in the main event, you have one of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion, which is Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart in a 1-hour Iron Man match. And the Iron Man match made my top 10 championship matches of all time during that podcast. I just thought it was a phenomenal match. So for those 2 reasons, pretty much is why WrestleMania 12 gets number 8. Number 7 is WrestleMania 21. It has the first ever Money in the Bank match, which was awesome at the time. You didn't really see too much like this. You saw the 2 TLC matches at WrestleMania's, but those were like triple threat tag team matches. These all were, I think it was 8 of them, 8 individuals fighting for one briefcase. That was really awesome and started a huge tradition that now has its own pay-per-view. So that was awesome, first time watching it. And it set up Edge, elevated him to the main event spot on whatever show he would be on, Raw or SmackDown, wherever he'd go. You also had the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. That was a great match. Too bad it was not for a title or anything, but it was still amazing. Once again, Shawn Michaels is pretty much the Mr. WrestleMania. And it had mediocre title matches with that. John Cena versus JBL was not too good. And same with Batista and Triple H. Batista and Triple H was a little bit better than John Cena versus JBL, in my opinion. But they both set up those 2 superstars for a nice... Well, Cena's still going as top babyface, but Batista was up there for 2 or 3 years. Finished out his run like 5 years later. And came back for like 5 months, but yeah, those guys were pretty much set up because of that. At the 6th spot, I have WrestleMania 14 from Boston. You had Kane versus The Undertaker, which was great. Then you also had another historical main event, I would say. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels, who had Mike Tyson with him. He had Mike Tyson with him. I can't remember. I haven't watched this in forever. Is Mike Tyson ref? I don't know. Mike Tyson was involved somehow and clocks Shawn Michaels at the end. That's just historical. You can always remember hearing JR just say, Tyson, right hand, something like that. That's just awesome. So yeah, WrestleMania 14 gets the 6th spot. So then we get to the top 5, and at number 5 I have WrestleMania 3. Not only it wasn't an amazing event, it was just so historical. I mean, it set a huge attendance record for 93,000 people. 93,000 people at a venue in, what was this, 1988, I think. That was just great to see. And you also had Savage vs. Steamboat. It became the standard for what you want a WrestleMania match to be. This is what people will always compare matches at WrestleMania to this match. Was it better or worse? And this is what people want to get out of a WrestleMania match. If you're in the main event, you want to be just like Savage Steamboat. It became the standard. And you also have the historical Hulk Hogan moment where he body slams Andre the Giant. The Hogan vs. Giant match was not good at all, but you got to see how big of a monster Andre the Giant was at this time. He was a freak pretty much, and people wanted to see literally the world's largest athlete versus Hulk Hogan. Their Hulkamania was running wild and everything. These two superpowers clashed, and yeah, Hogan got his moment, so that was awesome. Number 4 on my list, I have WrestleMania 30, and it probably could have been higher. It probably could have been a lot higher if Daniel Bryan would not have gotten injured after it or did not require surgery. If he would have got a legit run as champion after that, that would have been freaking amazing. But it only gets a 4 spot. It had a great opener. I just lost my train of thought there. It had a great opener with the Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan, obviously the host of that WrestleMania. You have Daniel Bryan vs. Triple H, which was great. You had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was, the last 5 minutes of that was awesome. You have the streak being broken, which was a moment that will live on forever in WWE. And obviously you have the triple threat main event, which Daniel Bryan won. It's the ultimate underdog story right there. So that's why WrestleMania 30 gets number 4. At the 3 spot, I have WrestleMania 10, which includes the Bret and Owen brothers opener, where Owen kind of getting jealous of Bret and how he's risen up in WWE. And then also in that event, you have the classic Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, the Intercontinental title match, which was phenomenal. 5 stars right there. And then I can't remember what the main event was. I haven't watched this one in a while either. I think it had Yokozuna in it. It had to stem from WrestleMania 9 with the Hogan finish at the end. But those 2 matches were pretty much perfect. The first 2 matches I named there. So that's why WrestleMania 10 gets the 3 spot. And then WrestleMania 2 and 1, no, the 2 spot and the 1 spot on my WrestleMania list, they're not WrestleMania's 1 and 2, but they could probably be interchangeable since they both were that damn good. Number 2, I'll put WrestleMania 19 there. You just had, this whole card was stacked. You had the Guerreros versus Rhino and Chris Benoit versus the world's greatest tag team. That tag team title match was great. You have Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho was amazing. You had a pretty decent match between Triple H and Booker T. And you have the Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon. It's just a huge brawl, lots of blood. And and at the time of this pay-per-view, you did not know it, but it's obviously Steve Austin's final match in WWE, and seeing that for final time, finally seeing Rocky win, that was pretty sweet. And then you have Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle in I'd say it's an instant classic wrestling match. I don't think it was as good as Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, but in the main event with the title on the line, they did just fine. They did great. So yeah, that WrestleMania 19 card was stacked. So that gets the number 2 spot. And at number 1, the only WrestleMania that can beat WrestleMania 19 is WrestleMania 17. Just as stacked of a card. Plus, at the time, tensions were high because they just brought in, they just bought WCW, so didn't really know what to expect out of it. And well, they put on a hell of a show. You have Chris Jericho versus William Regal with a very technical match that started out. They had the triple threat hardcore match between Kane, who was that? Kane, Raven, and some other guy. I can't remember right now. But that match was good. I just remember them going over by the stage area. Someone got chokeslammed into there or something. Someone jumped in there, electricity everywhere. They went backstage for a while. It was a really good triple threat hardcore title match. You also have Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle, which was a classic. Shane versus Vince had some really good build with Shane buying WCW. And then obviously you have TLC 2, which you have, I think, who was it? Jeff Hardy hanging onto the title, and then Edge comes out of nowhere, spears him, jumping from a ladder, and that was sweet. We also have Triple H versus The Undertaker, which was wild. It went all through the stands and everything, back in the ring, including the sledgehammer during a last ride. That was a great match. Undertaker and Triple H have always had great matches at WrestleMania. And then you probably have the most anticipated main event, maybe ever, maybe the most anticipated one that didn't involve Hogan at all, back in Hulkamania. You have Stone Cold versus Steve Austin versus The Rock. And that was a great match, especially the huge swerve at the end with Stone Cold turning. Nobody expected it. I mean, sometimes you can cheat. People have a clean finish at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 27 is what you don't want to do. WrestleMania 17, it was just a really creative way to end it. I mean, a lot of people were pissed off, but also sent a lot of people home on a cliffhanger. I just kind of see it as WrestleMania is kind of like the season finale of a show, and sometimes they leave you on cliffhangers, want you to watch more after it. So that's pretty much what WrestleMania 17 did right there. I mean, WrestleMania 17 and WrestleMania 19 both had stacked cards, really didn't have a bad match at all. So yeah, that's my top 10 WrestleMania list. I'll recap that for you. At number 10, it's WrestleMania 23. Number 9, it's WrestleMania 7. 8 is WrestleMania 12. 7 is WrestleMania 21. 6 is WrestleMania 14. 5 is WrestleMania 13. 4 is WrestleMania 30. Number 3 is WrestleMania 10. 2 is WrestleMania 19. And 1 is WrestleMania 17. Any WrestleManias I really didn't put on here that you think should have? I think, let me know what you guys think of that. But I think I probably could have fit WrestleMania 24 in here somewhere with great. Well, it wasn't great. They had a 3-way title match between Orton, Triple H, and Cena, I think. Yeah, I think that was it. And then you have Taker vs. Edge. You also have Michaels and Flair. So yeah, and WrestleMania 26 probably could have fit on here as well. But other than that, I think I really nailed it here. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this. If you could like, comment, subscribe, and I'll probably do like a New Year's or like a year-end awards video again. I know I did Match of the Year, but I don't think I'm going to make separate videos for all the other awards I want to do. So I'll just make that one video then. So until next time, see you guys later.